key to heaven's door cannot be bought or sold. Jesus died to make a place for us that no soul would be lost. You can't buy your way to heaven, for Jesus bought it on the cross, on the cross. Hello and welcome to Rewind with James Kilbane. Today I'm joined by one of Ireland's leading entertainers, Mike Denver, who's going to chat about his life, music and faith. Mike, welcome to the show.
James, thank you very much for having me on.
Great having you. Great
to be here.
It's good. Mike, you know, people around the world that's going to be watching this, you come from the Midlands of Ireland, a town called Portumna in County Galway.
County Galway, yeah.
Tell us, what was life growing up for Mike Fallon, because we know you as Mike Denver, but you were born and...
Yeah, born Mike Fallon in a small town, Portumna, County Galway. When I was growing up, I would think the population of Portumna would be 1,100 people maybe at the most, and that's a very small town really. It's southeast of Galway, which is the west of Ireland really, I suppose, and it was a great place to grow up.
On the River Shannon? On
the River Shannon, we were very lucky. We've a lovely forest park, which is great for all the walks, and we've the Shannon for the boats, we've the Shannon for swimming, all that kind of stuff. So it was a great town to grow up in, a very local community. Sports was a big part of it.
Did you play yourself?
I did. Very badly, I must say. If anybody from home is listening, very badly I played. I can't lie on this. I did. I played hurling up to under 16, which would have been a huge thing. Portumna was a huge part of hurling. Some of the best Club All Ireland's won over the years. Some of the best hurlers that ever put on boots or held hurls are from our great town. So yeah, it was a lovely town. Very very community driven.
As you were growing up, you started into music because your mum was big into country music and music.
Mum was, yeah. Mum would have worked in bands for early part of her life, so she would have toured herself then in the later parts playing locally around home. But she would have, I suppose, one of her first gigs really was in, if anybody is watching in from London, she would have been in the resident band in the Gresham in London for a few years, and then she moved back to Portumna here to there was a hotel in our town at the time called the West Park Hotel, and my mum came back to manage the bar there, and my dad was working there as well, so that's how they met up.
And growing up in the Fallon household, how many of you is in it?
The house, we'd a great growing up, as I say. Mum and Dad were great. I've next to me, I'm the oldest of four. I have a sister Nicola then, and then a brother Sean, and the youngest then is my sister Caroline. So four of us growing up.
And where'd the music come in?
Music came in from Mum, so it did, and I don't think they're all well able to sing, as I say, but nobody went down the path of being on the road or getting involved on the music, because as you know, as many people know, it can be a tough life, and it only suits certain people what we do.
But you started at around 16. Was that not with your mum? Was she out gigging?
Mum was out gigging, so she was. So I started I'd done a couple of years with Mum. At the time I was starting, I left school I just finished at school. I started to serve an apprenticeship as a plumber. And I was singing with Mum at the time I think we started around, this might be exact dates, but I think I was around 16, so that would have been back in 1996, maybe 90, in around that, 96, 97. So we were playing locally around our local area within 30, 40 miles of home all the time. And we went from there then to, I joined a band at the time. A good friend of mine, Sean Moran, had a band. So I joined his band. We went from there then to my manager, Willie Carty, asked me would I be interested in putting the band on the road. So we put the band on the road, the Mike Denver Band. And as I say, I haven't looked back since that, close on 20 albums at this stage and 5 or 6 live DVDs as well.
But over those 20 or so albums, you've regularly included gospel songs. Like where has this...
I would have always said...
Because you sing pop, you sing country.
We sing a little bit of everything, yeah. That's part of the show, really.
But it's not popular with everybody. Yeah. Christianity,
yeah.
And I
do try and fit a bit of everything in, really. I've a lot of loves when it comes to music. There's no one thing that I have to be in the middle of when it comes to music. I'm happy singing country music. I love middle of the road. I love 60s. I love rock and roll, as you said, and again, traditional music is a huge part of it for me, and gospel then is another part of it. So there's so many areas, and I try and fit in when I am recording albums, because there's so many people that want different things. Somebody will listen to an album from Mike Denver, James Kilbane, whoever you want, and there's certain songs everybody won't want or everybody won't like. So I'm trying to, I suppose, fit everybody in.
Is there something personal for a gospel song?
There definitely is, because I suppose, me personally, I can't speak for everybody, but I suppose when times hit hard, you'll always talk to the man above. Everybody has their own different ways of, I suppose, speaking to the man above. Some people go to church, other people do it from the side of their bed, other people do it in their kitchen while they're eating dinner, but everybody has their own way of doing it. So I think gospel music is a huge part of everybody's life as well, because I suppose we all in some way can reach out to it or get in touch with it some other ways. I would have been a huge fan of, there's so many great gospel bands out there over the last number of years, and I suppose things like YouTube and that have made it so easy for us all to get in touch with it. Many years ago, you wouldn't have seen these great bands. You would have been just listening to what was happening in the church with choirs and stuff, and if that wasn't your cup of tea, then it wasn't really selling it for you now.
Give us an example of some.
Well, the Gators. There's so many great bands out there, but I think that, is it Gators? I hope I'm pronouncing it right. They have recorded some great stuff. They've had amazing musicians out there. They've had
great singers.
Great singers as well.
Great
so when you put the whole package together, it's when you have great singers, you have amazing singers, not even great singers, you have amazing singers with amazing bands, and they have the best of songs as well. So if it's a good song, why not record it, whether it's country or whether it's gospel? That's the way I look at it.
When I wake up in the morning, I thank God for another day. And I think about the children in a land so far away, without all the precious things that we take for granted in our lives. Without a home to call their own, our loved one to give comfort when they cry. Hey God, are you listening? We sure need your helping hand. Hey God, are you watching what's going on across your land? They're still looking for the milk and the honey. Oh Lord, where has it gone? Relying on the charities to help them get along. In these modern days we live in, sometimes it's so hard to believe that we still have little knowledge of the things that can bring us to our knees. So hold out your arms in friendship to a world full of sorrow and despair, and just to let them know there's still a light there burning and somebody who cares. Hey God, are you listening? We sure need your helping hand. Hey God, are you watching what's going on across your land? They're still looking for the milk and the honey. Oh Lord, where has it gone? Relying on the charities to help them get along. Hey God, are you listening? We sure need your helping hand. Hey God, are you watching? What's going on across your land? They're still looking for the milk and the honey. Oh Lord, where has it gone? Relying on the charities to help them get along. They're relying on the charities to help them get along.
And you are one of the top entertainers in the country. Like it's. Do you feel very fortunate?
Yeah, definitely fortunate, and it's I've been very, very lucky over the last number of years, and we're very lucky. Ireland is so small, so it's very easy to travel from one end of the country to the other, and you strike up a great relationship, I suppose, with so many people being such a small area. We could be tonight in Cork and you could see faces, and you could hit tomorrow night, and these same people could have travelled right from Cork to Donegal or vice versa. So it's great to see the support and friendship that you'd make over the few years.
More recently, you got married to Elizabeth and little daughter Mia.
Yeah, Mia's just gone. She was born March 20th. 2320, so it's a very easy birthday to remember. Yeah, she's great. She's just, it's an amazing thing. The gift of life is, I suppose, there's nothing in this world that can match it, as I
said.
And
how is that now in the Mike Denver, Elizabeth, Mike Fallon household?
Love it. There's nothing like it.
Faith.
It's great. Yeah, there's definitely faith. So there is.
And where is it? Like yourself and Elizabeth. How was her upbringing?
Liz would be. She'd have a huge thing for in faith, really, and church and stuff. She'd be a huge believer in it. And Mia'll be brought up Catholic, as I say, and she's a great believer in. Hopefully, she'll be a great believer in it, because she'll have to choose that own.
And were you brought up? Path. How was
we were? Yeah, we were brought up, like, I suppose, like many households in Ireland back in the day. We were brought up from a very early age. Sunday was definitely Sunday morning. Every morning we were up at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock for 11 o'clock mass. We were always 11 o'clock, or you'd probably get the 8 o'clock mass on a Saturday evening if you weren't on a Sunday. As all young guys of my age group, and they came up, we were brought up in the church. We all served as altar boys, and it was great. We loved it. There was, I suppose, at the time, you'd be a competition nearly to see who was going to get the most Sundays done in, or the most masses done over the week or 2 weeks.
Mike, community, the hurling, being an altar boy, and the bit of golf now as well, because you're at that a bit. It takes, all of those things take commitment. Like music is hard work. All the recording you've done, you've great commitment to the life of the music.
Well, I think anybody that gets into music, you have to love the music. You're not getting into it for the lifestyle. It looks a great lifestyle for anybody looking in. It looks great. There's lots of glamour. You're going from gig to gig, but getting from gig to gig, and the hours that are put in, the rehearsals that are put in, the studio time that's put in, promotion time.
Yeah.
There's so many things that people wouldn't see, they wouldn't even think about. It looks great. You hop on stage at 9 o'clock, you're finished at 11
I think it was
o'clock.
The Rolling Stones, 80% hanging around and doing stuff, and
that's the problem.
20%
That's
performing.
the only bad thing. So anybody that is getting involved in music, I think it's the love of the music you get into it for. And it's the same for a guy, whether it's a guy singing, drumming, playing guitars, playing piano, whatever it is. You have to love what you're at. You have to love the music that you're into too. There's no point in being in a band playing rock if you're into country, or vice versa. You have to be there. That's what music is about. That's what makes music.
And you have a young family, Mike, because look, it can be tough as well on family life. We all know musicians that sadly marriages have failed and different things. What's your advice in relation to that? You have to kind of...
We're very lucky here in Ireland. It's different than other countries. As I said earlier on, Ireland is so small. I live in the middle of the country, so 3 hours brings me a lot of direction. So it's a great thing. I always get home. It's something that I've always decided nearly from the very beginning. home was where I wanted to be. You can be staying in hotel rooms. It's just not the same. You don't get to sleep. If you got 4 or 5 hours in your own bed, it's much better than 8 or 9 in a hotel room. So I always try and get home. It's a huge thing. I love getting home. It's even extra special now with
Mia.
Mia had been there. She's only 2 and 3 months or 2 and 4 months now at this stage. So it's great to get home. The excitement to be in there in the morning when she wakes up and that kind of stuff. So I love getting home. It's great getting home to Liz as well. We have a great time, as I say. You said earlier on, we're very, Purdom is a small little, a lovely small town or a big village or a small town, whatever you want to call it. And we've lots of things there. As you said, I'm into golf now over the last number of years. So I live right beside the golf course, so I can sneak up there for an hour before I go gigging if I want as well.
And, you know, you've got the situation as well where people look at it. Have you any advice for the music industry, and including gospel music, for young artists starting off? What would you recommend?
It's totally different now, I suppose, than when I was starting. The whole thing, social media is a huge part of it now. You see so many acts that have started accidentally by just posting videos of themselves singing at home with an acoustic guitar or a piano, singing any song that could be their favourite song. So there's no pattern, I think, as you know. There's no pattern how music starts.
You were lucky to get to have a relationship with Willie.
Yeah, I was very lucky at the time, and I had a couple of songs that were very popular on the radio at the time, and it goes from that. When I was starting, definitely I'd advise to anybody, do get a recording, try and get something out there on the radio, try and get it out on social media, try and get a good recording. That's a huge part of it as well. Videos over the last number of years have been a big part of it as well. So that's another part of it as well. And then when somebody is picking a song, pick a song that you like. Don't do something that somebody tells you this is the song that's going to work, because I don't honestly think that you'll sing a song with feel unless you like it. And I've noticed that over the last number of years. Anything I've recorded, I'd say in the last 10, 12, 14 years, they're songs I like. I would have definitely in the very beginning, you would know where you're going, what you're doing. You nearly do what people tell you or think you should do. So now, definitely that's the one piece of advice. If you're picking a song, sing a song that you like and try and put your own stamp on it.
The other day I passed a place you always like to go, and I picked up the phone because I thought you'd want to know, but I forgot you weren't there. I miss you all these days that I'm reminded of your smile and the funny things you'd say. I see you most at Christmas. You were like a little kid. You always loved a good surprise, and now I must admit that I long more for heaven than I ever did before. You gave me one more reason, and each day I wanted more. Knowing we could spend a lifetime reminiscing on the past, knowing I will see your face again when tender moments last. It makes me wanna go there, knowing I won't be alone, knowing you'll be there, makes it easy to go home. You left a group of fishermen, and somehow you left me too. Though I have failed you many times, I know you saw me through. I've always longed to feel your arms and look into your eyes and talk forever, me and you, somewhere in paradise. Knowing we can spend a lifetime reminiscing on the past, knowing I will see your face again where tender moments last. It makes me wanna go there, knowing I won't be alone, knowing you'll be there makes it easy to go home. Knowing you'll be there makes it easy to go home.
You mentioned there in relation to social media and various different things during lockdown. Like
Yes.
you still remained active, like so many acts. But would you go? Would you get into training, or are you brushing up on social media? Or
No, I'm very lazy when it comes to that end
Okay.
of things. I would be one of the, I suppose the older way of thinking when we were starting out. Really, it was all to you had to do your radio. You had to do your radio interviews. You had to do your television interviews. You had to be recording and getting the songs on the radio was a huge part. And
did you get any guidance with your interviews and how to
not
deal
really.
with?
No. I think it's like everything. It just, I don't think you can. I suppose you can learn and train. No, I was thrown into the deep end, and just I suppose as interviews go on over the years, you get a little more used to them. To get more easy going, you get, I suppose, not as frightened.
Yeah. Okay. All experience. Now, Mike, you travel a lot.
Yeah.
And when you're on the road, are there times that you pray?
It's not something that I do driving along the car, but there has been situations, I suppose, over the years. We've seen we put up a lot of miles. We're putting up I won't even mention how many miles we put up over a year, but there's a lot of miles over a year because there's a lot of road travel and you see a lot of things happening. I've definitely prayed at the roadside because we've come on so many different accidents and different things at times, and you'd be praying that there's nobody dead would be the first thing, and you'd be praying nobody's badly injured, because I've come across a lot of things like that over the time, and I suppose you give a little word to the man above to try and help it if you can.
As part of the program as well, all the acts are coming along, and we decided we'd maybe get a little line of what God means to them, because this is going to develop into a song. And I'd appreciate if you might, in your own time, just take the book and just write a line of what God means to you in your life and your work and in your music. And if you do that for us, we'd appreciate it, because the plan is to create a song, to create music around all the artists, what they're going to include. So, Mike, you might take that from me and include what it means, God means to you.
Will do.
Mike, thanks for joining us today, telling the viewers all about your life, music and faith. Thanks again.
Thanks for having me.
Well, folks at home, thank you for joining this episode of Rewind with James Kilbane. And make sure to come back again when we'll have another episode for you to enjoy. Till then, God bless you all, take care, and bye for now.
You can't buy heaven with your silver and your gold. That precious key to heaven's door cannot be bought or sold. Jesus died to make a place for us that no soul would be lost. You can't buy your way to heaven, for Jesus bought it on the cross.
Are you searching for answers? Discover your true identity. Stay tuned to Shalom World.